Right friends, welcome back to Banking Awareness Current Affairs, and we are extremely sorry for the delay of 2 to 3 minutes. And the first one is, this is basically to look at current affairs with regard to banking awareness. This is the third session, and 2-3 important aspects. Now after the merger of 5 associate banks, in fact I have not prepared the PPT, but let me explain you. After the merger of 5 associate banks with SBI along with Bharatiya Mahila Bank, now State Bank of India became the largest state owned entity, or you can say State Bank of India became the largest public sector entity in terms of market capitalization. It surpassed ONGC. Previously, ONGC was the state owned public sector enterprise, the highest in market capitalization. Now, replacing ONGC, State Bank of India became number 1 in market capitalization. So, in the examination, if someone asks which is number 1 state entity in market capitalization, that is the State Bank of India. Please do not forget. The second point is, what is meant by market capitalization? Market capitalization is basically with regard to the number of shares outstanding multiplied by the market value of the share. So, when you multiply market value of the share with number of shares outstanding, you will get the total market capitalization. So, in market capitalization, SBI is number 1, and in the overall, or you can say in the entire industry as a whole, both in public sector and private sector, if you cumulatively look at it, now Reliance Industries is number 1, closely followed by Tata Consultancy Services. So, Reliance Industries and Tata Consultancy Services are neck and neck in market capitalization. Their positions are changing, but in public sector, SBI is the number 1, right. Having learnt this, another important aspect is banks. All of you are well aware, banks can invest up to 20% in capital market. When you look at banks, banks can invest up to 20% of their net owned funds in the capital markets. Maximum limit is 20%, and now banks are allowed to invest in REITs and InvITs, real estate investment trusts and infrastructure investment trusts. Banks are allowed to invest in these two, and now the maximum limit kept is 10%, please understand. So, these news pertaining to last week, please do not forget. And if you look at further news, from 1st May, public sector undertakings in oil sector have decided to change petrol and diesel prices every day in synchronization with international rates in 5 select cities. So, from May 1, on an experimental basis, petroleum prices are going to be changed on day-to-day basis in 5 cities: Puducherry, Visakhapatnam, Udaipur, Jamshedpur and Chandigarh. So, please remember these names of the cities. And at present, 95% of petrol pumps are controlled by 3 government sector entities. 95% of petrol pumps are controlled by them, and the present system is to revise petrol and diesel prices. The present system is to revise petrol and diesel prices once in 15 days, and the prices, once they are revised every day, the name given is dynamic pricing. Please understand, the name of dynamic pricing means that is revision of the price to take care of volatilities in the global market. And here the fundamental point is, the oil prices are vulnerable, or you can say oil prices changes on day-to-day basis in the international crude market. Second point is, our currency also fluctuates. so as to take these two into account. This change will be brought across the country in future, and for the time being 5 cities are selected, please understand. Union government launched interdisciplinary committee for dealing with virtual currencies. Now virtual currencies, especially Bitcoin, and to look at virtual currencies so as to fix any regulatory gaps in the existing framework governing virtual currencies. And the 9-member interdisciplinary committee will be headed by Dinesh Sharma, Special Secretary in the Economic Affairs Department of Finance Ministry. And here this digital or cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is one example of digital or cryptocurrency, and it is unregulated digital money. It is neither issued by central bank nor public authority, and it need not be attached to a fiat currency. And fiat currency, what is the meaning? Our Indian currency is a fiat currency. Fiat currency means the currency value will be decided by the market forces. There will not be any physical security for the value of the currency like gold. That is the meaning of fiat currency, and it is used, I am talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is used and accepted among the members of specific virtual community and capable of transferring, storing or traded electronically. And the basic point of Bitcoin is it is on peer-to-peer basis, or you can say person to person basis, without any central controlling authority, right. So, the regulatory framework, or you can say the terms and conditions given to the committee, what is the current status of virtual currencies globally, and what is the present global regulatory mechanism, and the committee will also suggest for tackling various issues related to virtual currencies like consumer protection, money laundering, other relevant issues related to virtual currencies. Income Tax Department has launched second phase of Operation Clean Money. Here you see this is second phase of Operation Clean Money, and basically it will investigate over 60,000 individuals. Here the aim is, what is the aim of Operation Clean Money? The aim is to detect black money generation through post demonetization. Several people deposited crores of rupees into the bank accounts subsequent to demonetization of 500 and 1000 rupee notes. Initially, Income Tax Department issued notices to 18 lakh persons, and now under Operation Clean Money phase 2, Income Tax Department is investigating 60,000 people for black money because of deposit of crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees into the bank accounts subsequent to demonetization, right. So, if someone talks about Operation Clean Money, please do not forget this is the program of Income Tax Department basically to investigate the cases pertaining to huge cash deposits into the bank accounts, right. The loans dispersed through Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and please do not forget 3 schemes are there, 3 types of schemes are there, one up to rupees 50,000, other one rupees 50,000 to 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. So, these programs, please do not forget, and these 3 types of loans. So, if someone talks about Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, maximum loan limit is rupees 10 lakhs, and Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana supports not only banks as well as NBFCs also, please understand. And here the target for this year is 2.44 lakh crores. For 2017-18, the target is rupees 2.44 lakh crores, and the last year target was 1.8 lakh crores. It was surpassed, and banks have given 70% and remaining by NBFCs out of 1.8 lakh crores. almost 1.23 lakh crores are given by the banks. And please understand, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana also supports NBFCs like microfinance institutions. That is important point to note, right. Look at the next one. Union Cabinet approved setting up of JUM SPV. What is this JUM? Governments, both center as well as states, they procure several materials, they procure lot of goods, they also procure services, and for centralizing this in electronic way, Union Cabinet approved setting up of a JUM SPV. JUM means Government E-Marketplace. JUM means Government E-Marketplace. So, for government procurements in future, both by center, states as well as local bodies as well as the municipalities, local bodies means municipalities, corporations, panchayats. So, whatever way you look at it, all the central and state government ministries, departments, central and state PSUs, autonomous and local bodies, they will be procurement through common place, common marketplace you can say, and this is JUM SPV or Government E-Marketplace Special Purpose Vehicle. NK Singh Committee in examination, you may be asked a question, NK Singh Committee for what purpose? NK Singh Committee is basically to look at the fiscal framework. At present, as per FRBM Act of 2003, fiscal deficit target is fixed at 3%, and now the NK Singh Committee basically formed to look at various provisions under FRBM Act 2003, and it gave vital recommendations. One is fiscal deficit target should be 3% by 2020 financial year and 2.5% by 2023 financial year, and at the same time overall by 2023, most important point, overall by 2023 public debt should be restricted to 60% of GDP. Public debt must be restricted to 60% of GDP by 2023. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved increase in minimum support price for raw jute from 3200 to 3500 per quintal sorry, for 2017-18 jute. It is cash crop. It is also known as golden fiber because of its color, and it is mainly used as raw material for packaging industry, and here it will benefit 40 lakh farm families. Center plans to raise at least 10,000 crore from listing 11 public sector undertakings, and here public sector undertakings for listing. You may have a doubt what is meant by listing. Listing means the allowing of, or you can say various public sector entities, in this particular case public sector entities shares will be offered for sale in public exchanges or stock exchanges. So, the public sector companies will become public limited companies. Whatever the identified public sector companies, they will become public limited companies, and shares will be offered for sale through stock exchanges. That is known as listing of public sector companies, or you can say listing. General meaning of listing is offering shares through stock exchanges for sale is listing. Now, the central government wants to raise at least 10,000 crore from listing of 11 public sector undertakings by selling up to 10% stake. Please do not forget, Department of Investment and Public Asset Management is the department which looks at the disinvestment process. At the same time, Niti Aayog is the organization which gives a strategic advice in case of a strategic sale of public sector entities. So, the overall target for disinvestment is rupees 72,500 crore, of which 46,000 is expected from minority stake sale. Minority stake sale means selling 5%, 10% by keeping majority by the government. India achieved several milestones in energy during 2016-17. First and the foremost milestone is India crossed the renewable energy power generation of 50 gigawatt. So, our total power generation potential is 320 gigawatt. I am telling about roughly. So, out of 320 gigawatt, India's renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy put together is 50 gigawatt. And here wind generation capacity crossed 30 gigawatt, solar generation capacity crossed 10 gigawatt. These things please do not forget. Then arbitrage, this is into the news quite frequently. In the examination you may expect a question, what is the meaning of arbitrage? Arbitrage is basically buying in one market, selling in another market. Let us assume the cost of one bag of wheat in, let us say, Agra, cost of one bag of wheat in Agra is, let us assume, 1000 rupees, and in Delhi if it is 1500, then the traders what they will do? They will purchase in Agra, they will sell in Delhi, and the difference is arbitrage. Price difference or the benefit what they get by selling in other market, by purchasing in one market, that is known as arbitrage, right. If let us say State Bank of India is giving loans at 5% interest, State Bank of India is giving loans at 5%, and Central Bank of India is deposit rate is 7%. Let us assume this is hypothetical case, not real, hypothetical case. Suppose SBI is giving interest of 5%, loans at an interest of 5%, then you borrow loan from State Bank of India and you deposit in Central Bank of India because you will get 7% interest there. So, the difference what you get by buying in one market, by selling in other market, that is known as arbitrage, right. So, quite often asked question is not only arbitrage, the other question which is expected is what is meant by hedging. Hedging is also one important word that also you require meaning of hedging. Hedging means when our companies are borrowing money from foreign land, our companies when they are borrowing money from foreign land in dollars, then they have to hedge the borrowing so as to prevent the currency risk on them. If they are not hedging the borrowing, if tomorrow rupee collapses to 90 rupees per dollar, then they will be the losers. So, hedging protects currency risk. The borrower will be protected from currency risk if we are talking about currency. So, hedging means basically to protect the borrower, right. So, arbitrage, hedging, these are important words, and for quite some time this bad bank is into the news. Bad bank means the non-performing assets or NPAs. State Bank of India, Central Bank of India, they got non-performing assets, very high non-performing assets. They are not able to concentrate on their regular lending of loans. Because of high non-performing assets, they are not able to concentrate on regular lending of various loans. So, here these non-performing assets will be separated and they will be sold to bad bank. So, bad bank will look at the management of these NPAs in suitable ways such as liquidation or restructuring. So, bad bank is quite in the news, and you can say it is improvement over selling assets to asset reconstruction companies. So, it is improvement over selling the assets to asset reconstruction companies, right. So, here if somebody is talking about bad bank is nothing but it will purchase non-performing assets from the banking system. And here question comes, whether it will come in government sector or in private sector. So, it is yet to be decided. In fact, it is in the conceptual stage. Do not worry much about it, but please understand the purpose of bad bank. And RBI has decided to implement half hourly settlement in batches instead of hourly settlements for NEFT. So, what is NEFT? All of you are familiar with the NEFT. NEFT is nationwide payment system facilitating one-to-one funds transfer, right. So, here in fact the transactions are being sent in batches. That is why it is called deferred net settlement system. That is why it is called deferred net settlement or DNS system. So, it settles the transactions in hourly batches, and from now onwards it will settle the transactions in half hourly batches. So, from morning 8:30 onwards, this deferred net settlement or DNS mechanism will function and it will work on half hourly basis. So, 23 batches, and it will enhance the efficiency of the NEFT system. So, it is in tune with Vision 2018 for payment and settlement systems. So, it will drastically reduce the clearance time for NEFT transactions, right. And public sector asset rehabilitation agency, and you may be asked a question on PARA, public sector asset rehabilitation agency. This is one type of mechanism as stated in the economic survey 2016-17. This is one type of mechanism as mentioned in economic survey 16-17, that is a PARA, public sector asset rehabilitation agency, and this you can say is a type of a bad bank. So, bad bank in government sector, you can say, we discussed about bad bank some time back. So, bad bank can be in government sector or in private sector. So, bad bank basically purchase non-performing assets, and here this PARA is proposed in economic survey. PARA is public sector asset rehabilitation agency. So, this is in fact the proposal of bad bank in public sector or government sector, please understand, right. So, with this we came to the end of banking awareness current affairs for today. We discussed some important aspects, and next week on Friday we discuss on similar way various aspects pertaining to banking and economy, right friends. Let us conclude here. Have a nice day. Thank you.